Good morning, folks. Ari here from Direct Auto Outlet in Fair Oaks, California. I have this gorgeous 1993 Geo Prism for you, and this will be a test drive video of how this Geo Prism under Toyota Corolla clothing, actually Toyota Corolla under Geo Prism clothing rather, performs on the road. And for many of you who may be confused by that comment, this is essentially a Toyota Corolla. Geo, which is owned by Chevrolet, reached out to Toyota and had them make this vehicle for them, and Toyota used their existing Corolla line to make this vehicle, provide it to GM so they could fill the gap in their product line. And GM badged this vehicle Geo, which is a division that they used in the 90s to try to set themselves a little bit apart and gain additional market share. They later branded all of their Geo vehicles just Chevrolet because they realized that that was a long-standing name, and at the time it stood for pretty good products. So why take a well-known name and transfer it into something that nobody knows about, especially when they are having a company like Toyota build the vehicle, such a superior product, to their own. So yeah, this vehicle is a part of history. 149,000 miles. Go ahead and get our seatbelts on here. And get the air conditioning on, blowing nice and cold. The air conditioning was warm when we got this vehicle. It was an R12 refrigerant because it is, after all, a 1993. So we did convert those fittings and convert it over to our 134 refrigerant and recharged it, and now the air conditioning is blowing nice and cold. This vehicle has had 2 owners since brand new. Clean Carfax history with no accidents and no damage reported. Very tidy little car. We've done tons of maintenance to this car, including valve cover gaskets, belts, spark plugs, spark plug wires, distributor cap, rotor, and ignition coil inside the distributor cap. We also replaced the starter on the vehicle. 1 out of every 10 starting attempts would just click rather than start, and if you tried it again it would start right up. So we did replace that as well, just to eliminate the possibility of that starter failing on the next person. Folks, we hope that we're pleading and hoping that we find somebody that appreciates a vehicle like this, but more and more these days we are finding that folks are simply just looking at price, and unfortunately they don't know enough about vehicles to differentiate the good ones from the bad ones, good sellers from the bad sellers. Folks, we've been around for 15 years just about now, and we have always taken pride in our superior quality vehicles and affordability of our vehicles, but we are really struggling these days. That's not enough anymore. There's always somebody else out there with a salvage version of this vehicle, or a poorly maintained version of this vehicle that's always $1,000 or $1,500 less. And what kills me and what really pains me is more and more I'm seeing, because maybe give you a little bit of insight on my own life. My other hat that I wear is I am actually a consultant. For many of you private owners out there that are interested in buying new vehicles, I actually go out and do inspections on used vehicles that the general public wants to buy. So I do get an interesting sneak peek on a lot of my competition, both dealers and private parties out there. So I have first-hand knowledge of the types of cars that you folks are interested in and are buying. And it really does pain me to see it. It pains me to see you guys making those kinds of mistakes, being okay with the things that you are okay with, simply just because that vehicle is being offered for a few dollars less than if you were to buy it from a reputable seller like us. Folks, market demand is what sets trends, and it is what determines economies. And folks, you guys are, I'm not specifically referring to any individual person that's watching this video, but in a general, folks, you guys are setting market trends with your buying habits, and pretty soon there will no longer be reputable sellers out there that would be able to provide you with products like this at affordable prices. Ton of time and maintenance and care and inspection and checking went into this vehicle, but we're going to be offering this vehicle for $39.95. We have a ton of overhead, we have a ton of taxes, we have a ton of payroll that we pay. a lot in advertising, and obviously, as you can tell, just based on the amount of stuff that we've replaced on this vehicle, a lot of reconditioning we do to the vehicles. But folks, your buying habits are going to put people like us out of business. We will no longer be here in a few years if these trends continue. I'm not sure what the last couple of years did to the industry, but it is not good, folks, and I hope that this is not falling on deaf ears, and there are still some of you out there that recognize the overall value of what we were offering and not just looking for the cheapest price out there and making a mistake. Anyways, going back to the vehicle. This vehicle is driving very nicely, performing very well. Engine is smooth. All the shifts are crisp and very smooth. We'll go ahead and do a 0 to 60 run on this vehicle going up this hill, which will take quite some time because, again, this is not a very fast vehicle. So here we go. But folks, you get the idea. It also doesn't help that we have a Prius in front of us trying to hypermile, get its full 51 miles to the gallon, of course, for those Prius drivers out there. You know, there's a saying that a lot of Prius owners are aware of, is that folks don't like Prius drivers, and it's probably for that reason. And even if you're not driving like the typical Prius driver, whenever you're driving a Prius, you may find that folks tailgate you, folks cut you off, folks don't use their blinkers in front of you. It is true, it is not a myth, folks. I've driven Priuses before, and I see how rotten people are to you. But that's because most Prius drivers are going 20 miles per hour in a 40 zone, just like this person in front of us, and hey, that's okay. Better than some folks that are driving unsafely out there. Can't complain. Power steering feels very smooth in this vehicle. Minimal amounts of rattles and squeaks going on here. Transmission's nice and smooth, engine is nice and strong. This vehicle would make a great vehicle for a newer driver, for a younger driver, for a college student, for a commuter vehicle, for a spare vehicle around the house. Folks, we've done a ton of maintenance that would have cost you far excess of what it cost us to do. We did that so you could have peace of mind. Just continue to change the oil and continue to maintain and take care of this vehicle, and this vehicle will take care of you. This price point of vehicle is very difficult to hit on every bullet point, such as good body, good paint, good history, good mileage, working air conditioning, functioning safety items. Folks, this thing just hits about on every item that you would want, other than that it's not a 2009 version of whatever car that you care about, which there are some out there for probably the price that I'm selling this one for. But again, goes back to car knowledge and goes back to valuing what we value. Folks, I apologize for making this video sound more like a lecture, and I also apologize for probably my speech being a little bit slower, but that's just about as fast as my brain functions these days. I do appreciate you guys hanging out with us and joining us throughout the entirety of this video. We certainly do appreciate it. If you've enjoyed this video, please do consider giving us a thumbs up and subscribing to our channel, and please do consider hitting the bell notification icon to be notified of all of our future videos. We are focusing on growing our channel, certainly, because we can't grow our business without you and without your help. We certainly do appreciate that. If you have any questions or comments, please drop us a note in the comment section below, or just give us a call directly here at the lot at area code 916-765-7575. You can also find us 24/7, 365 days a year on our website, which is www.directautooutlet.com. Would like to take this opportunity to thank you again for joining us. We certainly do hope to have the privilege to work with each and every one of you in the near future. Thank you so much, and have a great day. Bye-bye.